Today on Steve's Makerspace, logic gets introduced into Gamecraft and I make an automated box sorter. Hi everybody, Steve from Steve's Makerspace, and today we are covering part 2 of the Gamecraft update. Last video I covered the copy-paste function, the stats on springs, and some new blocks that they've introduced. And this video I'll be covering the new logic blocks and the math blocks. There's still a long way to go with logic in this game. There's no looping right now, there's no timers. They are working on those things, as well as memory bits and a bunch of other things that are going to help make logic happen. But we'll take a look at what we can do with the logic at this point. So this display was created by Roxas. He's one of the developers of Gamecraft. So let's start with the logic blocks. We've got AND. So if both of these are true, then this goes up. Or if one of these, either one of these is true, then this goes up. Not is doing the opposite of the switch. I can turn this on and this goes down. I turn it off and this goes up. The NAND. The NAND is like not and AND together. So it starts off being true if these are both off, and both of them have to be off in order for it to not be true. Right, so both of them have to be on in order for this to be off. The NOR, you see it starts off in a outputting true when these both are off. If either one of these turn on, then this is going to turn off. So this one, both of them, or just that one on, this is off. NOR is sometimes used in logic, although usually I'm using the NOT. XOR, basically these two have to be in the same position in order for this to be off, and if these are in opposite position to each other, then this is going to be on. So there it's on, now they're the same and this is off, now they're opposite and this is on. And there's a nice use of XOR I'll show you in a minute. The XNOR is not used very often. If either one of these is true, then this will be false, but not if both of them are true. So if both are true, then this is true. If both are false, this is true. If one of them, either one of them is true, but not the other one, then this is false. So here is a use of XOR. This is a door that you can open, walk through, and close, and I can come back around here, open it, close it, open. And so both of these switches are wired to the XOR gate. So then we have the math. I don't want to go through all of these math. They work like math, how we would expect them to work. You can have multiple inputs into one of these nodes, and this will act as a sum. So you really don't need the plus. If you've got a plus going into a multiplier, and for instance, take your numbers and put them into input A if you wanted to have these two numbers added together. And so this is going to give you 2. So if all three of these were set to 1, this would give you 2 times 1. And for subtraction, it's A minus B. For division, it's A divided by B. The other ones, I don't think it matters which one goes into A and which one goes into B. The wire is seems like a silly thing to have, except if you were going to make some sort of gizmo to put on the workshop, this would be a nice output, so that when somebody attaches this, they can just take the output from here and attach it to wherever they want it to go. Roxas also made a tank steering. It's a pretty simple setup. I'm not going to go over the setup of this, but Roxas has this logic, I think he called it logic example or something like that. It's on the prefab workshop. Just look for the most recent builds, and we'll go ahead and get in his tank steering vehicle, drive it around a little bit. It's a little bit slow. I think I sped it up actually. I think he had it even slower than this. But it works. Oh yeah, and I created a copy of it, so that one's doing exactly the same thing. And that's because, again, it's using the same logic. If I had created a car that had logic on the car instead of outside of the car, then this wouldn't be happening. They would be acting independently, but it's only acting like this because they're both using the same logic blocks. Now, something that's kind of interesting is that the OR gate can take multiple inputs. With an OR gate, you can put as many in it as you want, and it still acts as an OR gate. So I'll show you that. So here I've got 3 inputs going here. There's that one. I can turn that one off. It's still up. I can turn this one on. It's still up. So all 3 are going here, and it's acting as an OR gate. So in Inscribe Mechanic, I've got a series of ANDs attached to these pistons, and if I press this, you can see they go up in a series in a wave. So in Inscribe Mechanic, you've got a 1-tick pulse between each gate, but not so in Gamecraft. I was surprised. These are all linked in a series. So one is going to the other all the way down the line, and then it's turning around and coming back down this way. So in Inscribe Mechanic, you'd expect to see a wave pattern here, but watch what happens in Gamecraft. No time difference. They all go at exactly the same time. Interesting, huh? So I think this is exciting because I think creations are going to be lightning fast in this game. Right now we can't do loops in this game. Once we get loops, there will be a 1-tick delay per loop in the game, basically. Something else to note when you're doing copy-paste with logic blocks or math blocks. So let's say we want to copy a bunch of this. So first let me make just a base to be able to paste this stuff onto. And then I'm going to hand copy. Let's copy a bunch of this. And Control C. And now, and paste. There we go. And now all of these, this is wired up, except for this one is wired incorrectly. So I need to take the output from here and cancel that, and then rewire this one output into this input. Let's see. That's weird. I don't know why that's not working. Okay, let me just get rid of that and try a new connection block. Okay, let's see if that works better. There we go. I don't know, got some weird error. So some glitch in the game. And then, what was the other thing? This is coming from way over here. Okay. And, come on. The ability to wire needs some tweaking. It's a little clunky at the moment. And then this output needs to go to this input. Okay. Can't see what I'm doing. Alright, so there we go. Now I've copied, and you can see they're all working. So that's a way to build quickly. You could start with, say, 4 or 5 of these, and then copy them, paste them next to each other, rewire, then copy 10, paste 10, rewire, and then copy 20, etc. And you could make something huge rather quickly. So here I have a series of ANDs, and I've connected these to switches. So this switch and this switch goes to this AND, this switch and this switch goes to this AND. And then these are going to these console blocks, which are going to these text blocks. So let's show you that. So if I click on this and this, I get red there, red, all red, and so forth. So these are sending the red, so color red, and then these are sending the blue. This goes, let's see, this one goes to over here to a NOT gate, and then the NOT gate goes to this console block, and so this one is sending the blue. If there's nothing going to this, if this AND gate is untrue, then the console sends blue to over here. So that's how that works. So I'm making a screen here. This is just a 2x2 screen, but imagine that this is going to be a 20x20 screen, and we're going to have memory and looping. So then we can make pixel art. We could make animated pixel art, possibly, if the computer will be able to handle that. We could make a pattern maker, which I've done in Inscribe Mechanic. So that's coming maybe 3-4 weeks from now. So here is a box sorter. Sorts different size boxes. So I'll just start her up. You can see how that works. There we go, 4x3 box, 6x4 box, and 4x3, and then the 2x2 box, and another 2x2 box. There we go. So I've got a giant piston here moving this conveyor belt. So we have sensors here. If we have something detected in this area, but not this area or this area, we want this to be triggered. So if either of these get triggered, then this is not going to get, the piston's not going to go. So the way I've accomplished that, first off, you can use an OR gate plus a NOT gate if you want. So this OR gate is coming from this sensor and this sensor over here. So if either of these get triggered, it goes to the NOT gate. The NOT gate is turning that around, so a positive becomes a 0 or a 0 becomes a positive, and then that gets fed into the AND gate, and the AND gate is coming from the center trigger, and then that output goes to the piston. Now you can accomplish the same thing as an OR combined with a NOT by using a NOR gate. So the NOR is taking the sensors on the sides, feeding it into the NOR gate, and then that goes to the AND gate. It was a little bit tricky making this work. I had to put these wedge pieces because without the wedge pieces the blocks were sliding around too much. And here I'll show you just briefly what happened. I tried different types of materials. This is brick, and you can see the small box is accelerating up the ramp for some reason. I have no idea why. And also with the 2x2, that was the most tricky, and I wound up having to add this piston here which goes up just a slight amount. So you can see it just raises this up just a little bit so that I can get both the sensor and the piston within range of the box. So there we go. So this contraption is available on the workshop. It's in the Gizmos box sorter, it's called. So that's going to do it for today's episode on logic in Gamecraft. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give me a like, consider subscribing to my channel, leave me any comments you like. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Steve's Makerspace.